So, Sonic. I really wish that it was earlier, but I'm here now. So, earlier today, I watched... Let me just adjust this actually, this looks a little bit off. Hi. There we go. So, earlier today, I watched the new Sonic movie. It just came out. I mean, it did come out in cinemas, but due to a lot of issues that we were having, weren't able to go and watch it when it originally came out. And then, obviously in January, the movie came out in the US. And then I think a week ago, the movie came out also in the US again, but on Paramount Plus. As of doing this, like recording my voice and video and whatnot, which is very scuffed. This isn't planned or anything, so I'm going to probably be stuttering a lot while I'm trying to talk. But the movie basically just came out today in the UK. Obviously not in general, like I said, it was in theaters since December. And it's probably... I'm not sure if it's still available in cinemas now, but probably not. Basically what I mean to say is that the movie came out in the UK digitally, so you could find it on like Sky Store, Amazon, whatever else you can find it on. I don't know that many streaming services that give access to it instantly. You can probably buy it on YouTube as well or something, I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, I watched it a few hours ago, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I think it's the best. I think it's the best one out of the three so far. Easily the best one. Like, the characters were a lot more developed and they felt more well handled. The story was very nice. Kind of simple a little bit. But in terms of them doing Shadow's story and translating that into movie form, I felt like that they did that very well. And then I have my other phone here. Basically a whole bunch of, I mean you can't see that, but a whole bunch of notes of stuff that I want to talk about. And yeah, like presentation as well. It was flashy, it was cool, there was a lot of action. The fighting scenes specifically they felt a lot better than the last two movies. I mean, Sonic Movie 2, it was very well done. The first one didn't really have too much. It was basically just the final fight and that was it. And then the second one, you mostly have fight scenes between Sonic and Knuckles. But the third one, they really ramped it up. There's quite a few fight scenes that are all very flashy. There's like a lot going on. And especially the ending part of the film, which I will be talking about quite a bit. I'll be talking about a whole lot of stuff in the movie. I mean, you will probably see the title of this, but this is obviously spoilers. I will be talking about the entirety of the movie, so there will be spoilers for specific parts, the ending, the bonus scenes in the middle of the credits, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's your warning from me personally, in case you decided to go past the title for whatever reason without watching the movie first. Go and watch the movie first before you see this and hear my thoughts, basically. So yeah, basically get started with this. So the first note that I have here is the story. Now the story, like I said, a little bit simple, but it's kind of well done. Basically, on the land of Pleasant Island, which is from Sonic Adventure 2, which, for a start off, I didn't even think they were going to put Prison Islands in there. I thought it was just a random laboratory that they had in the main, in like the main part where the movie takes place. But no, they have Prison Island from Sonic Adventure 2, and the story is basically that Shadow, after being imprisoned for 50 years, breaks out and escapes the prison island and goes over to Tokyo, searching for a way to get revenge on everyone for everything that happened, for Gerald's research and what happened with Maria, that kind of thing. And so Team Sonic, which is Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, they all go and drop by to Tokyo, try and take him out. Doesn't go well. So they get some information from... oh, what was his name? I'm trying to think of his name, but like the commander, or whatever, the commander of the commander of Gun. That's what I meant by this video not being very well done and very unplanned. But yeah, the commander gives them some information about Shadow's backstory, and they're in like a Chow Garden place, which is very adorable. Tails is such a child, and he's like, I don't know, Tails is probably like 8 years old. So the fact that he reacts to the Chow and everything in their live performances is just adorable. But then they get interrupted by Robotnik's drones, but it's weird considering people, especially Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, think that Robotnik is just gone. Like, between the second and third movie, from the ending of the previous one to the start of the third one, Robotnik is considered dead by everyone. No one knows that he's still alive, other than Agent Stone, which, that's what happens. The drones get deactivated by a guy on a motorcycle. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles go and give chase to the random person, and he's revealed to be Agent Stone, and reveals to them Eggman, and that he somehow survived after the second film. I don't think it's ever explained how he survived, which is weird. I felt like that was kind of just glossed over. At least from what I remember. I don't remember them giving a proper explanation as to how Eggman survived. But essentially, they team up with each other to go to the secret lab where Shadow, Gerald, and Maria were originally in. And Eggman finds Gerald, who is still alive, which is quite different from the games. Because, yes, between the movie and the games, he was locked up for 50 years or whatever. He was locked up for basically the same amount of time as Shadow, which makes me believe that maybe Shadow broke out and that caused him to find Gerald and free him? I'm not entirely sure. It's not... They basically just said that he's just been imprisoned. That's basically all they say. They don't say how he got out or anything like that, so I guess we're just to assume that Shadow ended up breaking him out. They have a very nice bonding segment a little bit later on, which they have plenty of screen time. Maybe a little bit too much, but they have like plenty of screen time together to establish the two characters' dynamics and build it up. Jim Carrey as Eggman was great. As always, he was just as good as he was in the first two movies. And he also played Gerald, so he played both Eggman and Gerald, which was... I don't know how he does it. I don't know how some of those scenes were done. Obviously a stunt double, but I'm not sure how exactly they were done. It looked very impressive. Like I said, presentation, that kind of connects with that. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, after almost just being deleted from existence by Shadow in this dark orb black hole thing, which he somehow got. They go over and ask Tom and Maddie about going undercover for a mission because they need them. It's very important. And so they go over to Tokyo with them. They bring Tokyo with them. Tom and Maddie go undercover as gun agents to get the key. And then, after going through, Tails discovers that both Eggman and Gerald are in the building with them. So Sonic ends up running in by himself to try and rush that out. And then there's like this zero gravity and high gravity scene where some of them are just stuck to the ground and some other characters are just like floating in the air. It's kind of weird to explain the full scene, but then after that, Shadow, seeing Tom in a disguise, which he thinks is the gun commander, who was already dead earlier in the movie, punches him and basically puts him in a coma. So he's basically MIA for the rest of the movie. Which, to be fair, most of the other human characters don't have that much screen time anyway. And alongside Tom, Maddie doesn't get like any more screen time either. Randall and the other lady, I'm trying to remember, Rachel, there we go. Rachel and Randall appear as the costumes, which is as like the hologram disguise things that Tails makes. So they're not in the movie themselves, but they are in there as a way to explain the whole disguise thing. After that, Sonic basically falls out with Knuckles and demands to him to give him the Master Emerald, in which Knuckles redirects him back to Green Hills where Wade had the Master Emeralds. For some reason, he's on the top of a building just using a hockey stick and playing hockey with the Master Emerald as the puck. But somehow he trusts him with the Master Emerald with that. And then he's only in the movie for like 10 seconds. He's only there for 10-15 seconds. Sonic just steals the Master Emerald and then goes supersonic. And then basically the rest of the movie just takes place in space. Supersonic charges up into space, goes after Shadow, and then they have like this they have like a fight scene together. And Shadow was literally powerful enough to punch Sonic out of his super state, which shows that he really is the ultimate life form if he can just punch him out of that state. And then with them both trying to reach for the Chaos Emeralds, they both turn super, which, you know, appearance of Super Shadow is very cool, very well done. And then after Sonic realizing what he's doing is wrong, basically, because he basically, at this point, he has Shadow pinned down to the ground, and Shadow is just saying, okay, go ahead, kill me. Like, he's even like he's pointing at his chest and whatever, like literally demanding to Sonic to just finish him off. And Sonic refuses because that's not who he is inside. He wants to be the hero. He's not gonna go ahead and kill someone. Even if, like, that person ended up hurting his family, he's not gonna do that. So then they have like a little bit of a man-to-man, hedgehog-to-hedgehog talk. Stupid. Why? That's how I word it. It's stupid. They have a talk basically saying their own backstories and how Sonic relates with Shadow, and then tell Shadow that it's not too late to do the right thing. He can be a hero as well, because Maria wouldn't want revenge. She would want Shadow to give everyone a chance, like in the games. So then they both team up. They both go super again, and they do the final fight. They go into the final fight, Gerald is literally deleted. Literally deleted from existence. Because, like, Tails saves Eggman from initially dying. And then he has, like, Tails' quill thing. And just uses it to blast Gerald off, and he's just dead. He's just deleted, and no one ever sees him again. Sonic and Shadow then try to redirect the cannon, the Eclipse cannon, with the help of Eggman and Tails. They managed to succeed, but ended up cutting the moon in half, which... whoops. Do people do that in movies, where they have a clear shot of the moon being destroyed, but it's like... I'm assuming that it's definitely CGI in some way, I'm just wondering how it is they managed to do it. Shadow tries to push the Ark away, or whatever they call it in the movie. I'm calling it Space Colony Ark, whatever, fight me. But Shadow tries to push it away because it will explode and spread all of its, like, toxin or, like, acid thing across the Earth. So he pushes it away, and with the help of Eggman, they're able to push it away far enough, and it blows up. Eggman gives, like, a farewell message to everyone, basically saying that he's supposedly dead, which I'm assuming he's dead now. Like, I will say, in one of the ending scenes in the credits is that it reveals that Shadow is still alive. So, I don't know, maybe he used, like, Chaos Control or something, and he somehow got Eggman out of there. I don't know, but I'm assuming that he's dead. The message was also specifically aimed towards Agent Stone, Eggman's, like, very loyal assistant. And then he's, like, all sad about it, like, Eggman's gone. And then he basically goes on and off his own thing. He basically just says, like, goodbye, Doctor, walks off, it fades to black, goes into what is essentially, like, the final scene of the film, and it's not seen again. Like, he's like, okay, goodbye, and then he's just not seen again. He could be, like, depressed for all we know, and we wouldn't know. So then the movie ends with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles racing off into the forest, and actually participating in a race between the three. Kind of like what they were trying to do at the beginning of the movie, but obviously all that stuff happened, and also they were trying to surprise Sonic with his happy Be Earth Day celebration, which is the day that Sonic first came to Earth. Which that's sweet. Kind of tying it all together. And then, yeah, that's basically the story of Sonic 3. I know it probably sounds a bit scrambled with me describing it, but hopefully it's a good description currently. Some of the other things I probably won't be talking about as much, but there's the references. Kind of like with Sonic 2, they were leaning... Well, they had references in Sonic 2, but they didn't really fully... They weren't, like, fully into it. And they even had references in the first movie, but there wasn't, like... They weren't, like, heavily putting that into dialogue or, like, the music or anything, other than the Green Hill thing. And, like, the Emerald Hill music in Sonic 2's announcement trailer. But Sonic 3, they had a lot of references, and it kind of feels like that they were leaning a lot more into that. And that's incredibly evident. That is very evident in the, like I said, the racing scene. Because basically at the beginning of the movie, Sonic is racing these hologram versions of Tails and Knuckles. And he doesn't know, and then he goes back to the beginning of the race to find his surprise birthday celebration. The end of the race, there's like the little goal signpost thing that's kind of like in the classic games. That's a very nice touch. Tails and Knuckles were doing like the toe tap thing at the end, which was very nice. And also, was quite funny considering that they were already technically there and Sonic was like, oh, I got here first, I win. Something I wasn't expecting is, in the dialogue during the race, they basically gave out an Afterburner reference, which Afterburner was... I'm pretty sure it's a series. Afterburner was a series that was in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. And I think there was like a couple of tracks that were in that game. At least I'm assuming that's what the dialogue is, because Sonic says something, because Sonic was saying like, I don't know the line specifically, but he was going on being like, now it's time for the turn on the afterburners or something, and it's like, I don't know, it probably could be a reference to Afterburner, but I'm not entirely sure. And then moving on from that, is musical references, which is very nice. Because near the ending of the movie, they have a whole bunch of that. They have like Eggman's little ringtone plays a little bit of Eggman's theme from Sonic Adventure 2, which is very nice. Was kind of teased that Crush 40 was a thing in the first movie, but now they actually do exist in the third movie. Which also leads me on to Live and Learn. Because Live and Learn was in the movie. It wasn't in there for long, but it was in there for Sonic and Shadow's transformation when they team up, and yep, that was probably one of my favorite scene in the entire movie. It's so well done. And then they're like fighting off all the drones, and like the instrumental of the song is still playing in the background, and they do the Sonic Adventure 2 pose together, like on the box art, and it's just a really good scene. It's easily my favorite out of any of the scenes in the movie. Some of the other references, I mentioned the Prison Island thing, I mentioned the Chow Garden, that's also in there. There was also like little Chow, there were like Chow renders on like these children's hoodies and shirts and stuff. They also decided to bring up Detective Pikachu, which is interesting. Detective Pikachu was brought up in a technically a Nintendo IP was mentioned in a Sonic movie. And then Knuckles, being like the best character, was saying how Tails definitely looks a lot like a Pokemon. I don't know, Knuckles is a very good character in the movie series. It's very funny. But yeah, there were quite a lot of references. The jokes were very funny, because that's, again, another point that I have on here. The jokes, obviously not all of them land. It's the same thing as like the first and second movies. Not every single joke lands. For example, Sonic just randomly going like, Konnichiwa? Like, yeah, that's not funny. And then also Sonic going like, somebody better call Google Maps when the lab was destroyed, and it's like, okay. Like, yeah, I suppose you would, but like, why would you say that? Is that supposed to be funny? But a lot of the other jokes, again, kind of like the Detective Pikachu moment, yeah, that was funny. But obviously, Jim Carrey himself steals the show with that, because pretty much anything he does in the movie is funny. Even when he's first introduced in the third movie, when he's like, let himself go and he's fat, like, he's busy like slapping his belly or whatever. And then he just like turns around and just sees everyone just like staring at him in disbelief. The best joke out of any of the movies, in my opinion, was him and his Gerald counterpart acknowledging the fact that they're two characters played by the same person. They actually made a joke about that in the film. And that is my favorite joke they've done in any of the movies so far. It is my favourite one. It's such a good thing, because you wouldn't expect it, right? You wouldn't expect it to be mentioned in an actual movie that two people are voiced by the same character. You wouldn't expect it. And that's what makes it funny when it does show up. So, yeah, that's really good. Eggman and Gerald have a dance scene, which, yeah, is kind of funny. It's not too fun. It's not, like, very funny. And also, I don't know, I feel like the music choice for it could be a little bit different. But generally, that's a pretty good scene, and yeah, it's Eggman, so it's funny. Some of Knuckles' one-liners for not fully understanding things about Earth or phrases is also funny. Like break the glass in case of emergency, and he doesn't quite get it. He doesn't quite get it at the start. Because, you know, he doesn't understand many things currently. He's only been on Earth for... how long? How long would it be between the second and third movie? Like a few months? A year, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, the jokes are very good. The focus, I have a note that says the focus on Sonic characters. And yeah, they have a lot more of a focus on the Sonic characters compared to the second movie, because first movie couldn't really do too much. It was just like... because all you had was Sonic and Eggman. You didn't have anyone else. And yeah, you had Tails at the end of the movie, but that was for a special bonus scene at the end after the credits, so that doesn't really count. And then the second movie, they introduced Tails and Knuckles, and they're in the movie. They're supposed to be like the new big thing, but like half of the movie has like this focus on Rachel and Wandel. Wandel? Who's Wandel? Randall. Jesus. But yeah, there was a bit too much focus on that for the movie. So for the third one, they heavily toned that down, and like I mentioned earlier, not a lot of the humans get a lot of screen time. It's mainly focused on the actual Sonic CGI characters and Sonic-related characters. Obviously, Agent Stone being an exception, because Agent Stone is Eggman's assistant. So, like, obviously that's a different case. And then there's also a note that I have of Shadow, just in general. Shadow, I think, was done very well. It's not, like, to a T the same as what he is in the games, but he was done very well. Like, he does have a few moments where he just randomly cracks a joke or whatever, but that's very rare, and he's still like the serious guy. Like how he is in the games, and his whole thing is that he wants to get revenge, and then Shadow's whole thing of being very powerful. Like, yeah, that was very well done of him being very powerful as well. His personality was great, his design was basically exactly the same. Like, basically exactly the same as what he would look like in the games. His shoes were different, obviously, but his design was very well done. And his connection between Gerald and Maria, especially Maria, they were very well done as well, and that created the story. And whenever they put on a bit of lore about that throughout the movie, it felt like it was in like a pretty good position for them to do that. They weren't just randomly throwing in like a whole bunch of information at the start and then like one small little detail near the end that wraps everything together. They spread it out in between all parts of the movie, and it's done really well. But yeah, Shadow was very good. And Keanu did a very good Shadow in terms of voices. So much so that he also voiced Shadow in the Shadow Generations Tokyo DLC, which, God, I need to make that. I still need to make that. I have like all the stuff to do it, and I still haven't done it. And then in terms of leading up into the next movie, because they already said that the fourth movie was going to be a thing, the ending credits, with them teasing Shadow still being alive. Again, if Shadow is alive, where's Eggman? I don't think he's going to be alive, but I could be wrong. But the ending credits also reveals Metal Sonic, which is very exciting, and also there's a whole bunch of clones. So if Eggman isn't going to be... So, like, that kind of leads on to saying, like, if Eggman isn't the villain, is it going to be Metal Sonic? Like, is Metal Sonic and all the clones going to be a villain? And if he is, who's the mastermind? Is it Agent Stone? Is he still working? Is he, like, becoming the villain? Like, he's becoming, like, the next Eggman? Or, for what people were speculating, is it Neo Metal Sonic? I don't know if they're going to go down that route, but Neo Metal Sonic would be a very cool thing to see. And also, if it means that we could get What I'm Made Of to be in a Sonic movie, that would be very cool. And then, also in that scene, even bigger than Metal Sonic, Amy was revealed to be like the next major character to be put in the movie franchise. And yeah, I'm very excited about that. It's very cool. Her design, honestly, her design out of all the characters is probably changed the most out of the other characters. Because, like, Sonic in the original movie has, like, these worn out shoes, and then eventually he gets his, like, iconic ones. And obviously his arms are blue in the movies. Wait, are they? Are they blue in the... I'm pretty sure they're blue in the movies. It's kind of weird that I wouldn't remember this, but I think they are. And then also, like, he has the whole eye thing where they're not, like, connected. So, like, yeah, he's different to some extent. But Amy is way different than her original game design. And she generally has a lot of changes compared to some of the design changes that they might have done for the other characters. She has, like, this cloak thing, or, like, this hood to kind of disguise, to kind of hide herself. Which is weird. It's weird that she has that. She has, like, a robe thing instead of her red dress. So maybe that also leads on to, in the fourth movie, maybe she learns more about the human world, kind of like how Sonic did, and she gets the red dress from JoJo or something. I'm not entirely sure how that would work out, but I'm assuming that she would probably get her red dress at some point. The little quill things, like her hair strands on the front on her forehead, that's also been expanded. Instead of just having, like, 3 on her forehead, she has, like, 5. She has, like, 5 or 6, which is, like, you know, kind of a random change to do, but I suppose it works. The hair around her around her face that's, like, here is also, like, more fluffy, more like bigger, basically. Honestly, she's kind of adorable. I kind of like that. They made her adorable in the movie. That's basically the last note that I have. By the way, so I've basically gone over, like, all my notes. Which is weird, because I feel like I haven't said too much. But at the same time, according to this, it's been 39 minutes, almost 40, for me basically just giving out this long speech. Whether I turn this speech into, or just into, like, separate things and cut it up, and, like, organize it better, or just upload this as one long random thing that you can listen to while you're busy doing stuff, that's fine. I'll probably figure out which one I want to do. I'll probably just end up uploading this. Shadow was very good. I'm very excited for the 4th movie and what they're going to do with Amy and the Metal Sonics. And also, who's controlling Metal Sonic, that's something that needs to be discovered. It's probably going to be like 2026 or 2025, late this year. Like late this year or 2026 when we actually get some information, or at least like a title drop for the film. But yeah, until we know more about it, that's basically it. I appreciate anyone that, or any of you that like take the time to watch this entire thing and just listen to me ramble. It's gonna sound very scuffed. I don't know how this is gonna sound in terms of a full video. I might have to cut it down, I don't know. So yeah, I'm planning on trying to do some stuff very soon as well. I'm trying to get back on track of doing that, but obviously I'm in the middle of doing some other stuff as well. And there's projects and stuff. So there's projects, my placement thing in college. So I have quite a lot of stuff to do anyways. But yeah, that's basically it from me. And if you excuse me, I'm gonna go to bed because it is currently 11 o'clock. So, and I've been talking for at least the past 45 minutes. So, yeah, I shall see you whenever I next see you, whether that's for any mod updates or any new videos. See ya!